mental health is something used in every single field.
There are a lot of benefits of horoscope reading and astrology when it comes to mental health.
The right amount you know is what you really need.
What do you think is that one factor they're looking to be fulfilled?
In my work, I have this. How can I solve this? What will give me peace of mind? Today, if you have that sun, that one sun giving light, energy, originality, everything to the universe, putting a blanket on the sun is only going to burn it. Suppose a number one comes to me and they're like, oh, I'm lazy and I'm this and I'm that. I tell them you're ruled by the sun.
Shraddha Sala helps people discover the path to a happier life. As a renowned tarot reader and numerologist, she believes in using ancient wisdom to empower people in the modern world. As a highly respected tarot reader, numerologist, and Vastu practitioner, she brings a wealth of experience and intuition to the table. There's no one-size-fits-all approach. She services to your unique needs and goals.
Hi, Shraddha.
Hi.
So tell me a little bit about yourself and how you got into astrology, numerology, and all things related to horoscopes.
Okay. So it started around 20 years ago. Had delivered one of my daughters and was carrying the other one. And I was in the house, wanted to do something different. So I used to keep doing these different courses. Numerology was one of them. Fancied it, enjoyed it, did another one. From there, I said, let me learn more about it. Then came tarot, then came Vastu and everything else. And I think there's a gift which you have, and then there's the study which is there. I combine both of them, and here I am today, 20 years later.
That's amazing. So can you tell me what were your initial thoughts on the connection between mental health and astrology?
So specifically when we talk about astrology, it's the science of the 9 different planets, right? So for example, if you're talking about the sun or the moon, the sun is that one sun giving light to the entire universe. There's heat, fire, energy. Similarly, people who are ruled by the sun, who are affected by the sun, are affected by the energy of the sun. And it comes out in 3 different forms: emotionally, mentally, financially, and physically. So in health, wealth, and relations, one is always having an effect. And in each one of these, even if there are different aspects, it eventually comes down to the mind. That's how a connection is formed with each one of the planets.
So according to you, if our planets are not doing well, we mentally cannot do well?
Destiny is not in our hands, the day we are born and the day we are going to die. Karma is not in our hands, especially past life karmas. Present, yes, and future, yes. But there's something known as free will. Free will are the choices that we make, the steps that we take. So in our free will, if we can understand the percentage which lies within our hands, the control that we have, then yes, of course, your mental health is a very strong part of it, because you know how to control it, you know how to use it. So to a certain percentage, yes.
So do you think, in your opinion, there are a lot of benefits of horoscope reading and astrology when it comes to mental health? Can it help people cope with anxieties or situations in their life which they're not able to fix?
Absolutely. A lot of benefits, and let me tell you that by example. For example, the planet of the moon. The moon is a planet of phases. Today you see a full moon and then you see a new moon. Similarly, these kind of people ruled by the moon. Birth numbers 2, 11, 20, and also if moon is in your chart, it has a direct effect on you. Okay. Now, the human body is made up of 70% of water.
Correct.
And the moon has its effects on high tide and low tide are caused because of the energy of the moon. The moon has its effects on that. Similarly, the moon has its effects on the human body. The moon is responsible for the hormones, your emotions, your mood swings, your mental state of mind, your well-being, direct effect on it. So 110% it's affecting us, right? Now, once we know how to handle the moon and what we can do and what we can't do, that part of our mind is taken care of. And then the rest follows.
But I mean, like, what if somebody doesn't believe in astrology, for example, doesn't believe in numerology and doesn't believe in horoscope reading, but is going through a very tough phase in their life? Do you feel like if they met you or somebody in your capacity or from your profession and background will make a difference to their mental state?
To a certain extent, it is going to, right? Like, recently somebody came to me and she said, I don't believe in anything, and but I'm not getting married, you know. So the not getting married part was really pulling her down. She was around 32, 33 years old. We try to analyze her charts, we try to see what's going on. And just by understanding which planets are pulling her down and which planets are not letting that marriage happen or blocking it, and by sorting that out with certain household remedies and normal remedies, automatically her energy changed, her mindset changed. She messaged me just last week saying that, listen, I've already got engaged, which is great for her. This was around 6 months ago she'd come. And she's like, I used everything. I feel so positive. I'm attracting so much more better. And something is just aligning in the right way. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think I see it in a way where, if you don't believe in horoscope reading or in astrology or in the science of horoscopes, I think a lot of times it can give you relief or hope. Like you said, you gave a hope.
Yes.
So for example, I'm very stressed out, my business isn't working.
Yeah.
Now at that point, sometimes mental health in terms of therapy or counseling may not work because
Yeah.
I am stressed, my business isn't working, it's not getting the success or the money that it needs.
Right.
At that point, it's almost like if I met you and you said, you know what, in 2 months your business is going to take off and these planets are, and I might not even understand the science behind it, but these planets will come into place and it'll just give me hope, and maybe subconsciously I'll start manifesting it and start working harder. You know, that in
Absolutely.
March my business is going to take off, so let me make sure that I work really hard because by March I'll be set and it'll all fly. So maybe your mindset and your energy changes towards that product or towards that angle of your life because you guys give hope.
Yeah, and it's also called the snowball effect, right? When you build a snowball, it's chota. So we're giving them a little ray of light. Then they change their mindset, it becomes a little bigger. Then they change their energies, their manifestation power, the way they're looking at people, their attraction power. So when you are in that state of mind where you're calm, you're positive, you're energetic, you're automatically attracting that. And when the snowball finally lands, it's full of everything and everything positive. So it just adds to it in different ways.
So what do you think are the potential risks of negative aspects of using astrology in this context?
So don't overdo it. Okay, there's, as I told you, destiny, karma, free will is there. Don't let this become the whole of your life. You have to use it as a part and the right part. Secondly, I'm sorry to say this, but a lot of people are misleading people nowadays. It's become more like a business than like a profession where you need to explain something to someone. So don't get so bogged down by everything that everybody is saying. Thirdly, and this is something I experience with most of my clients, is with astrology comes gemstones, and everyone is getting into gemstones, and some of them are wearing 5 of them, 10 of them, not knowing how it's affecting them. But what you don't understand is that it's also affecting you negatively, the wrong gemstone. Like if Mercury, if you need to raise your Mercury and you're wearing an emerald and then you're wearing a pearl to calm down your temper, but the pearl is also doing other things to you, which can pull you down. So the lack of knowledge, the lack of going to the right person is very important to understand that in order to get this formula right, So I just feel the lesser you know and the right amount you know is what you really need.
Yeah, because if somebody told me, for example, when I was 22, that you're going to be a millionaire or a billionaire according to your horoscope, according to the astrology forms, by the time you're 30, I think it can work 2 ways. One can be very motivating, one can be very demotivating because you're like, oh, it says it'll happen.
Yeah, so then why should I do anything about it?
Why should I do anything
Yes.
about it? It said,
Yes.
it's written, it's
Yes,
going to
yes.
happen. So I think that can also have a very big negative aspect.
Yeah.
And I've also seen where people kind of change direction in life based on astrology. So do you think it is misinterpreted more than understood? And if yes, then can you give us an example of how people misunderstanding astrology, how they are misunderstanding or misusing information on numerology and affecting people's lives?
So loads of examples for this one, but one that happens to me extremely often is when people go to commercial numerologists, they usually like your name to come to a number 1. Now the alphabet E stands for number 5 and a double E will come to a number 1. The same change is done with a number, with adding an I. Okay, I stands for number one. So, for example, if someone's name is Amit, I've had a lot of Amits come to me with AMEET. But his name initially, AMIT, is the same calculation.
Oh, it means the same thing.
It means the same thing. So, just by adding a double E, you're making it 5 plus 5, which is a 1, whereas I is also a number 1. So, you don't always have to change your name. You don't always have to make that change. You know?
Do you think it
Use
has also become a fad?
It's become a fad. It's become, again, I'm saying it's become a business. Sometimes the other person thinks if I'm going to them, then I have to change my name. Or
There
maybe
has
the
to be a solution.
there has to be a solution. Or maybe the person thinks that if he's coming to me, I need to do this. Otherwise, what's the point? What am I really giving him out there? So this happens to me extremely often. And most of the cases, the names are wrong just because they needed to get to a number 1. Or they will change the surname, which is different from your entire family. I mean, if you're not...
Really?
Yes. So you'll have a completely different surname and your family has like 1A and you have like 5 of them. You know, which just doesn't make any sense. And your energies are anyways different from them. So out there, mentally only you will not vibe with them. How are you going to do it numerologically? So it's always important to understand why you're doing something. Is it going to make sense? And misleading is happening a lot. So I think that's one thing we need to
So
correct.
you think there's a lot of self-fulfilling prophecies here?
It is. A lot of them. Yeah.
And I think they're probably not realizing the harm caused because, you know, India as a society or as a country, we are, astrology has been in our culture for years, for
Years,
centuries.
yeah.
So it is almost like an inbuilt belief.
Right.
Even if I per se don't really believe in any of this, but somewhere, if you speak to me for an hour and you tell me, you know, this is what is happening in your planet or this is what is the problem in your name, I might deny it and dismiss it, but somewhere subconsciously it'll stay because we are born and brought up with that mindset. You have that one astrologer for the family, you have that one advisor to tell you how the planets are working. So
Yeah.
I think we can't help ourselves, right? We somewhere had that blind faith somewhere at the back of our mind. That brings you to the point, it's very important to have the right guidance.
Absolutely.
It's very important to have the person with knowledge of the science because
Yes.
I remember my grandfather explaining this is a science. It is not just a chart on the paper.
Paper.
It is
Absolutely.
science and
Yes.
it comes from a lot of calculations.
Yes.
Just like they calculate moon position and sun position
Yeah.
for the planet, that is how it's the positions are calculated for your planet.
Absolutely.
Am I right?
Yes, yes.
So tell me, how can we ensure that these discussions about astrology are done with ethics?
So, firstly, get self educated. You know, everyone who comes to me, I tell them, listen, pick up a book, go on Google, understand the basics. Then, when somebody is sitting with me and they have 5 rings on, I'm like, do you know what you're wearing? Or even if it's one, do you know what you're wearing? You know, mom told me to wear it, or dad told me to wear it. I'm like, but at least understand what it's doing to you. Why are you wearing this? What effect is it having? Is it good for you? Is it not good for your charts? So, the main thing that you should do is just get a little self educated about everything else also in life. The minute
Yeah,
you
don't be blind about it.
don't be blind
because
about
then you
it.
can be fooled.
Absolutely, you can be fooled. I mean, you
Yeah.
can be fooled with anything if you're blind about it, right? So, self awareness, being educated, understanding if you're going to somebody, why am I going to them for? If you're coming to me and I'm giving you this medicine, at least know why you're taking it, at least know what it's doing to you. So, whenever I sit with someone, I take out that 15-20 minutes extra just to explain to them that, listen, this is your chart, this is what I'm doing. You've experienced it, you've sat with me, you know how I talk, like this is what is happening to you, this is the planetary time that is going on, this is your age energy, and this is what will happen to you if we do this, this or this. These are the 3 parts which are available to you. And again, to sum that all up, it all starts with your mind. So it is going to start from here. When you
Absolutely.
understand it correctly, the positive and negative happens, and that's when the outflow happens.
So, in your 22 years of experience in this field, can you tell me that what are primary 5 issues that people come to you with?
Health, wealth, relations, and then however you twist it or turn it, it only comes down to these 3. Because anything to do with your health, your mind, your body, or anyone around you will come under that bracket. Anything to do with money will come under wealth, and anything to do with people or conflicts or anything will come under relation. Actually, there's no 4th or 5th issue. It is only these three, and then you twist it and turn it around and you understand more about it.
So, what do you think is the primary concern for people when they go to an astrologer or numerologist? What do you think is that one factor they're looking to be fulfilled? Largely.
I think it is, and actually it's very strange, but it is peace of mind, you know. It actually all comes down to that. In my work, I have this. How can I sort this? What will give me peace of mind? You know, health-wise, this is happening at home to mom, dad, a family member. How can I give them peace? How can I get that peace? You know, okay, money-wise, we have this much. You know, what is that factor which will just give us absolute this thing? So you've actually hit the hammer on the nail, that it all comes down to mental health and peace of mind. That is what they're really looking for. And in between solutions to obviously take a higher step in whichever direction you want to go.
Yeah, you know, because that's what I've realized in my journey of life, that in the end, we all are looking to be mentally and emotionally fulfilled.
Yeah.
And we may chase everything else under the sun, but if
Yeah.
we're not mentally and emotionally fulfilled, we're still unhappy.
Yeah.
And happiness actually only comes from that fulfillment, where you're emotionally fulfilled. And according to me, I may be wrong, according to me, emotional fulfillment comes from service. Any sort of service, whether it's to family, it's to neighbors, it's to your friends, it's to community.
giving nature.
It's a giving. Now, if today I'm able to fulfill that by giving in any form, whether it's knowledge, whether it's physical help, whether it's cooking for somebody, whichever help, somebody's need of money, I feel like that kind of emotional fulfillment does not happen with anything else. And mental fulfillment is when you're using yourself to your best capacity in a day.
Fair
So
enough,
if
yes.
I wake up and I have nothing to look forward to, but for example, I've had a very tough week and I decide today I'm going to relax, watch 2 movies, eat the best meal possible, go for a walk. But if I have decided that that's my mental fulfillment of the day, but by and large, our mental fulfillment happens when you're using your mental capacity to its fullest.
Absolutely.
So if my mental capacity to its fullest is to run a business, to make sure I'm making XYZ commercial products, personal products, whatever it may be, if that is my mental fulfillment and I'm achieving that, I will have mental. Otherwise,
Absolutely.
I'll be unhappy.
So a takeaway when everyone comes to me, the last takeaway is this, that I'm going to send you 2 messages. One is going to be about how I want you to start your day, which is, you know, with peace of mind, with the visualization, facing the sun's energy, absorbing that into you. The minute you're doing that, your mind, body and soul, everything is in connect. And the second one is a bubbling technique, which you need to do on a daily basis, where you bubble yourself from anything that is not mentally making you feel energetic or making you feel positive.
Right.
You know, you cut cords with the negative and you bubble yourself. So this goes for everybody, and everyone who does it, they're like, you know, the minute we've started to do the affirmations and the bubbling in the morning, we're absolutely sorted. Then you can really take on your day in whichever way you need to. Then depending on the planets of the days or the numbers and everything, that's just a byproduct of all of this.
Correct.
That tends to flow.
So, where do you see the line between using astrology as a tool for self-discovery and using it as a diagnostic or a prescriptive tool for mental health issues?
For self, you need to just understand your basic charts. You need to know what is happening to you, what is not happening to you, and is my time zone good? Is my age energy good? Because there are lots of numbers and lots of planets which are there, right? So just understanding these are my planets, this is what it is doing to me, and this is how I can improve it. Where mental health comes, you need to understand how negatively or positively that planet is affecting you, and whether you should allow that planet to affect you to that effect. You know, let me give you a personal example. I think around 30 years ago, I was not even married or anything. I was wearing this moonstone pendant. Okay. Now, moonstone, everyone says it's for the energy of the moon. It keeps you calm. It keeps you at peace. 30 years ago, honestly, I didn't even need that calmness or peace. I just liked the pendant and I was wearing it. And I didn't know anything about astrology. I didn't know what it was for. I just wore it. I used to have constant headaches. Okay. And then there were times when I used to just go into a shell and start crying. And one day, somebody just told my mom, you know what, remove that moonstone and let her not wear it. And I'm telling you, it's been that day till today, I have not felt like that, ever. So, I understood that, okay, the moon is having an effect on me. Wearing this pendant just by me liking it as a fashion statement or as whatever, but it's not working on my body energies. To answer your question, knowing about the moon and all, one thing, but this thing having such a bad effect is affecting me mentally, emotionally, and I should not be wearing it. And it actually had that strong an effect. So the line comes there where you have to know less is more sometimes. Decluttering is also important.
Absolutely.
Not wearing or not doing those things is also important. And knowing what are the main aspects is what you should focus on and not go crazy.
So, can you tell us an instance where astrology has positively impacted somebody's mental well being and somewhere where it's deeply and harshly negatively impacted somebody's mental well being?
So recently, I had a client who came to me. They had a court-related inheritance battle that was going on, and the person was correct, morally correct, and ethically correct. Wanted to do the right thing, but they wanted to be completely sure. So we got the dates, aligned, and we understood what is the right time that they should file and how they should mediate to a certain extent and how they should let go of certain things and get certain things into their hand. And the way we prescribed them, because it is kind of a
Correct.
prescription that we're giving them, worked out very, very well for them. And they were extremely grateful and thankful because the results did come out to be positive. So we went to the minuter details of that, and that really helped. And I have seen this specifically where court cases are concerned. A lot of people take a lot of help, and somehow, if we get the timing and the calculations right, bang on, we get what we want. So that way it's helped very positively. Negatively, I know it's the person's a client as well as a friend, and we did tell him that this is a bad time for you, so you just need to ease out on certain things. I think there was excessive alcohol and things like that, but the person went into a spiral saying, what, if it's a bad time, then nobody anything can say can really help us, so I'm just going to do more of it. And our advice was not that it's a bad time and you'll go into a spiral. It was like, because it's a bad time, be aware,
Cautious.
be cautious,
Yeah.
don't do more of this because it'll only affect you more. But they didn't listen, and then it just went spiral. You would have also heard of, planets like Rahu.
Yeah.
It's all over the internet,
Yeah.
all over social media. Ki jab Rahu aata hai, it can take you on the top. Or if it hits you negatively, the worst side of you can come out.
Right.
So through certain charts, we can come to know, is your Rahu going on? Is your Shani going on? If those planets are coming into play, then there are certain things you need to avoid.
Yeah, but like you said very rightly, and I've also experienced this in conversations with people I know and over the years, that when somebody tells them or guides them that this is a bad phase coming through, or you are heading towards a bad time, or you're heading towards difficult times, they actually start to spiral more than they need
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
And I think, like you said, it can negatively impact in a way that it wouldn't have happened if they didn't have that knowledge. So sometimes ignorance is bliss.
Ignorance is
Sometimes
bliss, yeah.
limited knowledge is better.
Yeah,
Because, for example, someone tells me that, Feb, March and April are extremely difficult. I will see losing a pen as difficult. I will start seeing difficulty in everything that's happening. That,
Yeah.
oh my God, a difficult time, I can see it.
Yeah.
Every day I'm facing challenges. And otherwise I may have dealt with it very easily.
Yeah.
Like, okay, these are part of life, it happens. It's ups
Yeah.
and downs are very normal, right? That is how life goes. So I think sometimes it can give you a direction where you start seeing everything like that.
That's the reason when someone comes to me, I tell them astrology, numerology, and consulting. And consulting comes under your mind understanding what I'm trying to explain to you. Because you don't only go away with this, but also understand that this effect will happen negatively and positively
Correct.
to you, to your mindset, to everything if you go overboard. So I'm very particular about this.
How interesting. Can you tell me at what age do people start getting into this? What age have you seen that people become interested in astrology, numerology, and they start to see their life from that direction?
Listen, I have two daughters, 18 and 20. Ever since they've been 14, 15, I've had all their friends sit across me. Auntie, tell us this, what is this planet, which is the moon sign, which is the sun sign,
Yeah.
Everybody wants to know that. That's one. I have clients coming to me, with their children. I have clients coming to me for themselves and with their parents who are 70, 80. But it starts from when you're born because people start, they want to know the date of birth of the baby. They want to know what time we should, have the baby, which is a good day. That all comes under astrology and numerology. So it actually starts from the day you're born.
So, you said destiny, right?
Yeah.
Now, if I came to you to plan my child, for example, I'm not,
Yes.
but I'm just saying, if I came to you to plan a child and you said, Ashna, Wednesday, 6th of June, 2026 is the perfect time, so plan a child
Are
accordingly.
you manifesting that
No,
for
no, no,
yourself?
I'm generally I'm giving an example. But isn't that me killing destiny, or isn't that me taking over the narrative from the superpower or wherever we all have come from, this source of energy? If, like you said, we all are destined for something.
Right.
And a certain amount of luck is in place, a certain
Yeah.
amount of, or we all work hard.
Yeah.
Who doesn't work hard, right?
course.
Everybody works. There's a certain amount of luck is involved, certain amount of destiny is involved. Like you said, karma is involved. Now, if I'm eradicating all those and I'm saying I'm going to have a child on 6th of June, I said, I don't remember even, 6th of June 2026 at 11 a.m. Am I not contradicting everything else?
No, so-
Faith, religion, belief, God?
So what happens is that is a choice that you're making through free will. Okay, today if you're booking a flight and going somewhere, you're choosing that there are 10 flights in the day. This is the one I want to take and this is the one I want to go ahead with it. Usually when people have C-sections, they always do this. For a natural birth, of course you don't. So many times what happens is, now you've chosen through free will, you've sat with me, you've got your dates right, you've got your times right, everything. But destiny plays such a beautiful role that if everything is set on that day, and so is the operation theatre, if that baby wants to come a day earlier, you'll just land up in the hospital a day earlier. So that happens very often. Like out of, it's a 50-50% chance. Some of them get it on that day, and I believe if a child has to come, they have to come by their own will. So
Yeah.
yes, we are making the corrections right. We're booking the operation theatre. We're doing all of that. Some of them probably are destined to come on that day, and some will come a day earlier or a day later, and there's nothing you can do about it.
So do you think a lot of life is coincidental then?
Coincidental, yes, but I would again use the 3 words that I use, that in your free will, you create your karma and your destiny. Through your destiny, your karma gets created and so does your free will. And through your karams, it has certain effect on your destiny and certain effect on your free will. So all 3 are interconnected. And then you can call it coincidences, you can call it anything that you want. But this is how the entire boat floats.
How do you think astrology can be used to promote self-compassion and acceptance rather than self-criticism or blame?
So I'm going to answer this to you with the planet Venus. Now, Venus is the planet of Shukra. Shukra is the planet of entertainment, media. Today we are talking, anything to do with a podcast, with movies, with films and all of that. Now, most of the people in the film industry come to me to get their name numerologically done to a number 6. So Venus helps them. And then they also want their movies' names or their serial names to come to a number 6, or the movies to release on a Friday because Friday is the day for Venus. Sometimes the movie may not be right, or a co-star may not be right, or something else may not be right. You can't blame the planet.
Correct.
You can't come back and say that, listen, I did everything according to 6, but sorry to say, what if you can't act? Or what if somebody is not doing something right? So it's going to get affected. So at that time, balance. You need to understand the balance. That, okay, you've done everything right here. You're raising your Shukra levels to the maximum that you can. But everything needs to be right on the other side also. So it does affect negatively and positively. Just understand the balance. You've done this right, do this right also. Get your whole on the table.
Also, I think, I don't know how far it works, but you can explain this. If somebody is going through a really bad phase in life and nothing is working out, just nothing, relationships aren't working out, money isn't working out, and health isn't working out. So when money isn't working out, leads to anxiety and depression and
Yes.
stress,
Yes.
and relationships aren't working out, also health issues. So let's say all 3 phases aren't working out. And at this point, the person may not be able to seek mental help. This is where I mean, can astrology play a positive part?
Again, I'm going to tell it to you with an example. Planet number 8, Saturn, Shani. The minute somebody hears that they have Shani in their charts or in their numbers, they're like, oh my God, everything is going wrong because of this. Okay? Now, what you need to understand is 8, if it comes down, it also takes you on top. So, how astrology helps you is by understanding the positives of a planet and how you can use those to your advantage. If 8 is something that vacuums you out, it can also take you to the highest level which you cannot understand. So, yes, if everything is going wrong in your lives, come, sit with a professional, understand how we can align things in a certain way where we can add value to your existing planets and take it to another level.
Also, I think in some ways it might give hope to people who might feel hopeless otherwise.
You know, Ashna, it gives hope, but if it's correctly done, it really works. It really works. We can make those changes, we can make those shifts. We know what is happening. Today, if you have that sun, that one sun giving light, energy, originality, everything to the universe, putting a blanket on the sun is only going to burn it. So you need to understand, how do I use the sun's energy to my advantage and take it to another level? You know, suppose a number 1 comes to me and they're like, oh, you know, I'm lazy and I'm this and I'm that. I tell them, you're ruled by the sun. Work as hard as the sun, no? Does it take a holiday? No. Is it saying, okay, today I'm not going to shine on this person because I don't like them? No. Understand what your planets are doing to you and work according to that.
So tell me, how does somebody know what if they're number 1 or not?
So then that comes into numerology. It comes into your date of birth. So anybody who's a 1, 10, 19 or 28 born is a number 1. Similarly,
Oh, so your date of birth becomes
your date of
number.
birth becomes.
Right.
So two different things. Astrology is the science of the planets which are affecting you, and numerology is the numbers that are affecting you from 1 to 9. So we get any number comes down to a single digit, and then we get to know what your date of birth is, your destiny number is, your age energy, and the energy of the year. Like 2025 comes to number 9. Number 9 is ruled by the planet of Mars. Mars is the planet of heat and fire. This is what Mars brings into play. Like, for example, I mean, in the beginning of the year, I spoke about this, that 2025 comes to number 9, and because it's Mars and Mars is the planet of heat and fire, we will see a lot of that happening around us in the world. And we are seeing fires, natural disasters, things like that. So even the energy of the year affects us. But somebody who already knows why it is happening can, to a certain extent, understand in their mind, you know, this is the reason it's happening. It's not happening to me, it's happening to the whole world. This is how I should handle it. You know?
So let's consider the concept of self-fulfilling prophecies. Can you tell me, how can one be mindful of this when exploring astrological influences on mental state?
So it starts from there. Be sure about yourself. Be confident about yourself. Know if someone is telling you something, and if this is black, this is going to remain black only.
Correct.
Just because they trick you, it doesn't mean it's going to change. Ashna, what is YES?
Yes.
What is EYES?
Eyes.
Okay, so you're an intelligent one, but a lot of times people are like, yes. So they get confused. Just because I'm shifting one word or saying it differently, people get confused. So to answer your questions, have your own sensibility. Just because somebody tells you take this and walk 10 times in the sun and this is going to change your life, that's not going to happen. You know, if you take this mantra and put it down your bed, this will happen, that's not going to change your life. Yes, to a certain extent, if someone is telling you, okay, visit the Shani temple on Saturdays, offer oil, offer something in black, that is what Shani wants. That's how Shani gets happy. Do something like that.
That if there's science behind it.
If there's science behind it, if it makes sense. But if someone's just going to tell you, visit the Shani temple, add the tail, add this thing and hop on one leg, it's stupidity, na? So I think it's very simple. It's stupidity against sensibility. And probably in your downtime, people don't realize, but they tend to get a little more weak in their mindset. And then people take advantage of you. So then it's also understanding who's taking advantage of you and why. So my advice to people is, when you're listening to self-acclaimed prophecies and things that people are telling you about, and if you're low and if you're in a negative mindset, please take someone else along with you. You know, so that at least they can explain to you that, listen, this is not the way it's done, this is the way it's done.
Yeah, because that's like being in the wrong hands professionally.
Also, I have one theory, and I'm just going to say it. I mean, if everyone who is claiming that if this happens, you'll get $1 million, or if this happens, you'll become a crorepati overnight, then how come it's not happening to them?
Yeah. Very true. I've thought about
know?
this many times.
Yeah.
I've thought about
So-
this many times. So, it's on a lighter note, when I was researching about you and researching about this whole aspect of astrology and numerology, now what happens on Instagram, you search 5 times and then your entire feed
Yeah, feed
algorithm
becomes that,
changes.
yeah.
So, from mental health, my algorithm completely changed to astrology. And I started getting hilarious videos about random people sitting on random backgrounds and saying,
Yeah.
if you wear a red t-shirt and sleep, then your sex life will become better. If you wear a yellow t-shirt
Yeah.
and go to an interview, you will surely get it.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, what logic is
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
There is no logic behind
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
And obviously, people need to be careful because they're listening and scrolling day in, day
Yes,
out. And they might
yes.
think this is absolutely correct.
Yes.
So, I realize that there should be background check. How long has this person been practicing? What is their qualification to practice this? Secondly, have they seen result? And like you said, has it happened
making
in their
sense?
life?
Yes, has it happened in their life?
Yeah.
Is it making sense? And most important is, don't forget, your intuition is the biggest tool that you have. Follow your
Absolutely.
intuition. If your inner voice is telling you, you know what, this person can give me some guidance, they can give me some relief, they can show me some path, then that is the person for you. Because any occult science is all about intuition, it's about energy, it's about the magic that you create, it's about a gift that the person has within them. At least see and feel the other person's aura. If that makes sense to you and if you feel good about that, then go for it.
It's very interesting. I was speaking to a friend of mine, and she is a very, very big believer in astrology and numerology compared to where I stand in my life. And I tend to go in the more practical things and more in the mental state, and she goes into more of the believe in this side. So we were talking, and I was telling her about how I'm going to shoot this episode. She said, that's very interesting to me. She said, when you're low in your life and when you're going through a tough phase,
You'll seek.
you speak to your mentor. I have a mentor who, I've taken counseling from and seek therapy from through the last couple of years. And she said, for me, I have that one astrologer who I called. It's exactly the same scenario. And when my astrologer, who's my mentor, speaks to me, it's like therapy for me.
Yeah.
So she's like, a lot of times people see astrology as a fake science, a fake
Yeah.
belief,
Yeah.
circus, whatever. People have all sorts of names for it.
Yeah.
Buddhu bana rahe, ullu
Yeah,
bana rahe,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
She says, I see it as therapy. And that's very interesting to know that here is my friend who is very similar, in terms of where her life is going, similar to mine. We're in similar phases of life. We have kids, we are mothers, we are working. And I see her seeing astrology as therapy when she calls her astrologer or the person who she consults as a therapist. And
Yeah.
I said, interesting, because in the end, like we spoke initially, the first line we spoke about, what is everybody looking for? Mental fulfillment, emotional fulfillment.
absolutely.
And if
Peace
this
of mind.
person, if this person can give you peace of mind at a
Yeah.
very difficult moment in your life, at a crisis, at a time where you feel helpless and hopeless, there's nothing else.
So at the end of every session of astrology, numerology, you have to give them consultancy. You have to show them those 3-4 things of hope, ray of light, for them to understand that, okay, this is why I need to use this in my life. So it's really a form of art. And consultancy, therapy, talking to them, being a therapist along with an astrologer has to go hand in hand. It's even with a doctor, right? Today, if there is an illness and he needs to tell you about it, he needs to tell it to you in a certain way, so that firstly your mind doesn't get affected. Because if
Yes.
this goes, then anything else cannot be curable. So it's the same way in any field. I mean, for you, actually, you've really hit the nail on the hammer and picked up the right topic, because mental health is something used in every single field. Whether you
Absolutely.
talk to a makeup artist, you talk to someone in clothes, you talk to someone in fashion, you're talking to me, you're talking to someone in a corporate line, anybody. This is the first thing that comes up. And if you sort this out, and if the person who they are talking to knows how to sort this aspect out, everything else is a byproduct of that.
So tell us, how does numerology affect our mental state as well as our life?
Numbers are everywhere. Okay, the first form of language was numbers. When the Romans came out with numbers, then you had scriptures, symbols,
Right.
alphabets, so on and so forth. Numbers are affecting you in every single place. Now, numerology as a science, to me, is the mother of all astrologies. There's a tree, there's astrology, there's numerology, there are other things. This is the mother, because numbers don't go wrong. Okay, there's your birthday, there's your destiny number, there's your age energy. How it's affecting you is when you know what your birth number is, your destiny number is, and if something is out of balance and it's not aligned, and if you understand what this alignment is, what you need to do to bridge the gaps, what you need to do to make it okay, you're already in another zone. So, understanding the science behind these numbers, the positives, the negatives, the strengths, the weaknesses, the ups, the downs, makes you understand yourself better. In turn, helps you to use it and fulfills you. Yes. So, let's take an example of you, Ashna. Let's put you on the spot. Give me your date of birth.
Mine is 27th.
Okay, so 27 comes to a number 9. Number 9 is ruled by the planet of Mars. Now, Mars is the planet of heat and fire. So, you do have this little vulnerable side to you, a little bit of a hyper side to you, aggressive side to you, you know. What happens is with a number 9, if they volcano anything within them, your emotions, what you're feeling, what you're saying, it'll slowly build, and one day it'll burst. So that is your first aspect of it connecting to your mental health. Declutter, release it, talk about it.
You're
You
right.
don't-
I'm not very good at suppressing anyway.
Yeah, if you
Doesn't work
suppress,
for me.
it doesn't work for you. Which
Yeah.
so then you've got it right. And if you do, it'll just not work for you. It'll come out on your skin. It'll come out, to
Health
somebody in the
issues.
house. Health issues to somebody in the house. It'll just blast out, and you will just not be okay with yourself. So that's one aspect of it. Secondly, number 9 is a very strong spiritual number. So I'm starting to see this side of you where all this is eventually going to lead into some form of spirituality. Now, spirituality doesn't mean taking a mala or reading a book. It basically means understanding yourself. And a beautiful thing you said earlier is, I'm a giver. I want to provide. I want to give back. So even with this, you're giving back to society, right? The knowledge that you're
Yeah.
giving is a part of giving back.
Yeah.
So number 9 is a governing planet for that. So you are using your numbers in the right way.
Interesting.
It's a number of passion. It's a number for knowledge. So great.
And
You're
what are the
using it right way.
negative aspects?
The negative aspects is a little bit of ego, a little bit of, that I can do it all and I'm the best at times. But
I think everybody has that in today's day and age.
yeah. So, of course, loving yourself is extremely important.
Yes.
And feeling that is very good. But sometimes it may come out in a different way to certain people. You
Might think it's arrogance, but it may
yes,
not be arrogance.
it may not be arrogance. It may just be being like, I'm sure of myself and I know what I'm doing. And that's
I
what the
think,
people
you know
need to
what?
understand.
Now that you're saying that, I think the minute somebody's self-assured,
Yeah.
and the minute somebody's confident, like truly
Yeah.
confident, not by the just confidence to speak, but truly confident of who they are, they're aware of who they are, negatively, positively, that's already threatening to people.
It is.
Honestly,
it does become.
I'm
yeah.
speaking just from a psychological point of view,
Yes.
not even from
Yes.
astrology point of view. The minute I am sure of who I am, I'm a threat to most people in the room. Because most people are unsure of who they are.
Yeah.
And that energy that you throw out when you're sure of yourself, I don't know why, it's either seen as arrogant or it's seen as...
Little bit of a complex,
Yes. Or it's
intervening,
seen
yeah.
as she's trying to put everybody else down. It's not. It's like that person is sure of who they are.
I always make people do this one exercise when they come to me. Especially, again, this is related to your mental health. The minute someone's sitting across me, I tell them to droop their shoulders down. Let's do it. Like, droop your shoulders down and say, I look like $1 million.
No, but I don't feel like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, the minute you put your shoulders back up high, and sit like that, and I tell you, Ashna, I don't like what you're wearing. What will your answer be?
I like it.
Exactly. So just this little change in your physiology, in your body language, changes your mindset.
Yeah.
So I always tell people, enter a room with energy, with, your shoulders back up high. Just walk into it like that and you'll see everything will change. This is a tip that we give them, astrology, numerology, and mentally this is a tip that we give them, that walk into an interview like that, have a meeting like that, everything around you changes.
So tell me, after 2 decades of experiencing, learning, and studying, I'm sure, this science, do you feel you have reached a place where you enter a room and you're able to read people?
Absolutely. And I'm not going to shy away from it. I'm not going to deny it 110%. Yes, energies are everything and everything is energies. There are 2 kinds of energies, positive and negative. And you can understand which from which, because a person is all about its energies, right? You will
Yeah.
know. You will know. Is it a positive? Is it a negative? Is it drawing? Is it attracting? What is happening? 100%.
I hope you like the energy of the room.
I do. I really do. The colors. I love the color gold, all of it.
So tell me, what are your thoughts on future of astrology and numerology, and how do you think it will evolve in terms of even helping people cope with their lives mentally?
If you've noticed nowadays the amount of apps that have come out, this talk and this gyan, this thing, I mean, with all
Yeah.
their names, the future of astrology is far and wide. You cannot even understand how big this is going to go. TV channels are capturing it. It's all over social media. There are apps on it. People are even teaching it in schools and colleges. There are subjects on astrology and numerology. Yes, the earlier college that my daughter was in, there was a subject on it. And I've been called as a guest lecturer to so many places to talk to students about it and things like that. And as I said, it just correlates with your mental health. Because if you know your strengths, your powers, your numbers, your energies, your planets, and if you know your positives, negatives, your ups, your downs, your goods, your bad, and you put it all together, it's success.
Yeah, it's a
we have a great win-win situation out there. So it's massive.
So, Shraddha, most astrology companies are called either Astro Conversations, Astro Pictures, Astro something.
Yes.
They have that name to kind of make sure people understand it's about astrology. But your company is called I Love Me, which I found
Yes.
extremely interesting and different and beautiful.
Yes.
Can you explain this why?
Very simple. I love me because if I can't love myself, I can't love anything at all. It's not selfish, it's self-love. It starts from you. The day you fall in love with yourself and everything about you, that's the kind of energy you will give around you. So I have used this for everything that I do, because when you come to me, decide that you're going to be in love with yourself, and then I will make everything else fall in love with you. So that's the only one responsibility I want from you.
And what is the numerological value of that I Love Me? Did you put that in place
Absolutely.
as well?
It's absolutely perfect.
So what is
Perfect
it-
according to my charts.
What does it
Comes
come
to
up
number one.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah,
So it
yeah.
did fall in place.
It did fall in place with my own little tweaks. So sometimes if your lettering doesn't fall in place, you should know how to tweak it. But for me, the I and the me comes to number one, which is great. And then the love is a heart, which again is made out of certain energies. The way I've got the cuts and the colors and all of that done.
Can you tell our listeners some advice about when practicing a numerology in their life, how they should take it upon, to guide them?
Okay. Don't overlearn. Okay. If you have a cup, fill it only that much. Don't overfill it because it'll all fall off. Understand the science. Pick up a book. Go on Google. Know what you want to know and only understand that much. Today, even in numerology, there are 50 different numbers and people can bring up life path number, this number, that number, and I don't even get into all of that. So just know how much is important and what you need to learn and go in for that. And that knowledge itself will create more knowledge, because then there's self-awareness that comes, there's your intuition that comes into play. You'll know how to play with the numbers, how to pick up on them, what is the right guidance you should give to each person. So know how much you want to learn and join your intuition with it, and you've got the perfect mix.
Amazing. Thank you, Shraddha. We've had the most amazing conversation.
so glad.
And I'm really excited for people to hear this, relationship between astrology, numerology, and mental health.
Yes.
And most people might not think there's a relation, but there's a huge relationship between the three.
Absolutely.
And I think you've nailed it with this conversation.
Thank you so much, Ashna. So good to be here.